What if you could invest into property in a Sharia-compliant halal way, earn a decent rate of return, and not have to invest £50,000, £100,000? Today, we're introducing the Nesta platform, how it works, how to use it, what kind of returns you can make, some pros and cons of the platform, and overall just my thoughts on it. Before we get into Nesta, today what we're talking about is property investing. And there's already traditional ways of investing into property, such as buying a property, doing it up, selling it on. So just flipping a property, buying a property, doing it up with an extension. Or you could just buy a property, rent it out, and get the rental income. You could do the rent-to-rent model where you rent a property and then re-let it out. There are all sorts of different businesses and ways that you can earn money from property. But in reality, a lot of these types of investments require a lot of work and capital to do it. And often when they are done, they're done with leverage. So it requires you getting financing from the bank. So these methods of investing into property not only are time consuming, but often are not accessible to Muslims because of the need for that financing. So there is a gap in the market for Muslims who want to invest into property, not only using small amounts of money, but doing it in a Sharia compliant way and without the need for leverage, without the need for accessing capital from the banks, and without the need for a lot of expertise that is generally needed when trying to make a decent income out of property. That is where Nesta comes in. Let's start by pulling up the Nesta website. Investments secured on UK property with target returns of 9% per year. Also, they've highlighted here at the top that you can invest up to £20,000 tax-free using this IF-ISA account. That stands for Innovative Finance ISA account. So yes, you can use this type of account within Nesta to invest and earn these 9% returns completely tax-free, and you're allowed to do that with up to £20,000 per tax year. But of course, you can invest more than £20,000 just outside of that IF-ISA account. Looks like they've got a decent amount of reviews, 4.7, 140 reviews. Pretty good if you ask me. Can we just click on that and just see what the most recent ones are saying? This is my second review of the platform. I'm a big fan of Nesta. The team were fantastic. Love it. Only concentrate is how few investment opportunities, maybe only negative is only how few investment opportunities came up. I've been using it for the past 8 months. So far, so good. Of course, I would love to have more investment opportunities. Positive experiences all around. Sign up was easy. Everything's easy. So it looks like a few of them are saying the same things. They lack opportunities for investment. But other than that, it looks like it's generally positive. Back to the platform. So you can use Nesta to finance property if you need money, or you can look at it as an investor looking to invest your money and generate a rate of return. Today, we're not going to be looking at the finance side of things. We're just going to be looking at it as if you are an investor and you want to find a property to invest into. How is it going to work? What types of rates of return can you look at and things like that? So they have this section on the website. This section here is for investors. That section is for buyers. It's hidden behind my head, but we don't need to worry about the buyer section. We are looking at the investors section. So you can invest from £1,000 and earn up to 9% return. Take back control of your finances, doesn't mean anything. Capital is at risk. Please review our risk statement. So yes, as with all investing, it comes with risks, and so does using the Nesta platform to invest. So what they're giving you is fixed income investments secured on UK property for all. We're going to dive into that a little bit more to find out how the Nesta platform actually works. But first, let's keep going down their homepage. Nesta is a community of like-minded investors, our Nestas. Yes, it says here we are FCA authorized and regulated. So Nesta is regulated by the FCA. It is a very much above board company. It's not a random website which doesn't have any backing. So that's good to see. You can request more information. Okay, that's all they have on their front page. We can click on opportunities and it brings up all the opportunities. We're going to dive into all these different opportunities that they have on their website. Hopefully, I'm even going to show you us investing into a property today. One that I recorded earlier, unless there is an opportunity live today, in which case maybe we'll even do it live today. If we click on the invest button, it takes us to this page. It's just saying again that you can earn up to 9% per year secured against UK property. They have different types of opportunities that you can invest into: buy-to-lets, refurbishments, and this last section, which is bridge financing. Okay, let's go through how to get started. You complete registration, you top up your e-wallet, and then you start investing. Easy peasy. That's what we love. And how does Nesta? This is a nice section of the website. How does it work? Nesta receives finance applications. So if someone who has some sort of investing in a property that they want to finance, they want to raise money for. Nesta then screens the applications. There's a credit committee that then goes ahead and approves it, I guess, and then they push the deal live on the platform. Pre-funding an investor. Nesta works with pre-funding partners who have committed to providing the funds to complete the property financing for the buyer. Interesting. Okay. Don't really know what that means in too much depth, but what I'm guessing is that even if they don't raise the amount that they need via the platform, via investors, they still have enough to give the person that needs the money that they want. And they regularly review it. Great. They have all sorts of details here about how they review stuff. Oh, and they have a risk score as well. So they put a level of risk on each of the properties that they offer investment into. That goes from outstanding, very good to good. And they have A1, which I guess is the super highest, and then it goes down, all the way to C3. But I still feel like C3 is quite good. It's just the way that they do their criteria. Nice. Okay, let's go. Let's invest. Let's go. I actually already have an account on Nesta, so we're going to be looking through that and seeing some of the opportunities that we're already invested into and how it works. So as you can see here, these are the opportunities. This bit here in purple shows you how much is available to invest in this opportunity at the moment. So this one, there's nothing available. Okay, this one, there's nothing available. This one, there's nothing available. This one, there's nothing available. We can actually sort them here by the one that is available to invest the most. You can't see it popping up on your screen, but now you can see that I've sorted it now. Okay, well, I've tried to sort it by available to invest the most. It hasn't done anything. But maybe the reason it's done nothing is because every single one of the properties on this website at the moment have £0 available for you to invest in. £0. Every single one is £0. So actually, as of right now, at the time of me filming this video, there's nothing that you can invest into. But don't worry, I recorded a session of me actually investing into a property before, and I will tell you how to get into one of these deals in the future as well, because you can actually get into it. So the best way to analyze the platform, I think, is by looking at one of the deals. So we're going to look at this one, just because it's the first one on their website, and just look at the details of it, see how it works, to help you try and understand the risks and how it works. So this one, first thing you'll notice is that it's rated B2, which is the middle of their risk scale. It offers 9% annual returns. It only has 2 months on it, so it's only a 2-month deal. So you're not going to earn 9%, you're going to earn 2/12 of 9%, and you'll get your money back or whatever you invested into this property in 2 months' time. So let's click on it to see details. Okay, here are the details. You can see that, let me just move my head out of the way actually. You can see here, again, that this is a fully subscribed deal. Next date where you're going to receive your profit is the 29th of September. That'll be 1 month after the property was added to the site. This is how much I've actually invested, and it's given me the option to sell my investment if I want to. The total amount they financed was just over £1 million. You can see that here. Completion date, August 27th. It's only for 3 months. And the property is valued 1.5 million. So Nesta have financed 1 million of a 1.5 million pound property. This is where we start to get a little bit technical, because that is a key part of the risk metrics of this investment. Let's stop for a second and actually understand what you're investing in when you invest in this property with Nesta. You are not investing into the property. What you invest into with Nesta is the financing of the property for the person who needs financing on the property. So this person, whoever owns this property, needs £1 million. You are effectively giving them the £1 million to do what they need to do, and they will pay you the agreed profit rate. It's not that the property is being rented out and you're receiving rental income. It's not that the person's doing a project to do it up and however much they earn off the property, that's how much you're going to get. No, your amount of return is pretty much guaranteed. You might start to think that this sounds very similar to a loan, and it is similar to a loan, but it's done in a Sharia-compliant way using a special type of contract called a commodity murabaha contract. Commodity murabaha contract. And it's a contract which has been signed off as Sharia-compliant by the scholars who have signed off this platform, and it involves the use of metals being traded for the money and then being traded back in order to extend the financing to the person that needs the money for the property. So that's how Nesta works. Remember, you're not investing into the property. But But what Nesta does have is they have first legal right over the property if something goes wrong. If the person who gets the money, so the person borrowing the money for the project, can't pay it back, Nesta has first right over the property. So if the person who takes the financing can't afford to pay back the £1 million, Nesta will then take the property, sell it for its value, and hopefully reclaim the £1 million which they have financed the property with. So that's what's quite good. If the property is worth £1.5 million and Nesta have only financed £1 million, then you have a decent buffer above of around 30% above what was actually given to the person who needed the money. That's why when we look here, we can see the finance to value at 72%. The lower it is, the more secure the investment is. But at the same time, what you're worried about with a property like this is if the project goes completely bad, the person can't repay the funds, what are the chances that Nesta won't be able to sell this property for at least 1 million, given that the property value is 1.5 million? I mean, how accurate is this £1.5 million valuation? Where did they get it from? Things like that are things that you might need to be thinking about. Here it shows you how many people have actually invested into this property, 170 people. And here it shows you where the property is, somewhere just inside the M25. Here we have some details. Occupying a prime position. Property is a bespoke self-built, sitting on a 0.3 acre plot. The buyer is experienced, well-known local developer who has transacted for many years. £33,000 will be held back from the total facility for profit payments over the next 3 months. So that's how Nesta works. From the money that is given to the person needing the financing, some of it is held back in order to pay those monthly returns that investors expect to receive. This is what the buyer is going to do with the money. They're going to complete the refurbishment, then they're going to sell the property and then realize the money, and that's how they get back the money which they took from Nesta. Repayment exit. The buyer has received an offer for a longer term facility subject to project completion. Okay, so what the person who owns the property is doing, they've actually received financing from someone else for a longer term, which I guess is much cheaper than Nesta's financing, which they've extended to them, so much cheaper, and they're going to use that money to pay back Nesta. All right. And you can see here, as I mentioned earlier, it's a commodity murabaha product. 3 months, that means you get your money back after 3 months plus 3 months worth of profit payments. You can see here the buyer is actually paying 12%, but Nesta receives 3%, which is why you're left with 9% on this. So as an investor, you're not paying any fees, but really there is a 3% fee in there. These are the things that provide you security that you will get your money back. So account charge over cash deposit. A cash deposit is held in an e-wallet account in the name of the buyer. That is charged to all investors held by Nesta's security trustee. This means the buyer does not have access to the funds without Nesta's consent, which is good. You have fixed first legal charge over the property. Nice. And personal guarantees by the buyer of the property, which is great. That's really it. That is genuinely really it. I mean, obviously the different properties on Nesta will have their different details, their different level of risks, how they're structured. Let's look at one other one. Let's look at one that's a bit longer. So this one here is 28 months. This one here is 30 months. Okay, so this is 30-month property. They're financing 343k, 8.4% profit rate. You can see I don't have anything invested into this one. See where it's located, again, inside London. Finance to value 47%. Property valuation 730k. Again, some details about it. Again, it's quantity murabaha. Same security packages on it. These are the fees. Yeah, so the buyer's paying 2.5%, 10.5%. There's a 2% arrangement fee, so it's 8.5% net. 8.4% because there was another 0.1%, wasn't there somewhere? Or was it? Okay, here it was 2.1%. And that's it. I mean, there's not much that more. There's not that much more to it. On your dashboard, you'll be able to see how much money you've invested in total. You can see all the properties that you've invested into. You can see how much they have remaining in terms of time left for the investment. You can see how much profit you've earned on each property. It's a really, really clean platform. You can see what you've listed for sale. You can see what you've sold previously in the past. You can see what's coming up for redemption and the date. So on the 21st of September, this one is going to redeem. Then I'll receive the amount that I invested into this property. And you can see ones that have redeemed in the past and how much profit you earned on those ones. On the left-hand side here, you see the total amount of profit earned, the total amount invested, and how much is actually in your wallet at the moment. Here you can deposit more money or withdraw money. Now, depositing and withdrawing from Nesta I have found to be super easy When you deposit money into Nesta, it appears within your account within 5 minutes, and withdrawing money also comes out very fast. So I am actually a big fan of Nesta because it works so seamlessly. The website is very nice and simple to use, very responsive. The app that they have on the phone, also very responsive, very nice to use. It's just the thing of it's hard to get in on a property. So let's see actually getting in on a property. Here we go. So this is one I recorded from my phone when I was investing into Little Oaks extension. And as you can see at the time, it had 430,000 left to invest into this property of the total 1 million that was available for investing into this property. So here I clicked on the page and I could see 653 has already been invested into, 430k left. Then you have a button at the bottom there to invest. Click on that, you receive a risk warning saying that your capital is risk. You have to confirm that you understand that. That's when you click again, invest. Then you put the amount that you're willing to invest in. Now the money that you want to invest already has to be in your e-wallet for it to go ahead. So you have to transfer the money into your account beforehand, but because the transfers into and out of Nesta are quite fast, I normally transfer 5 minutes before, not an issue. So you have to invest in minimums of £1,000, and Nesta actually have a limit of £5,000 within the first half an hour when a property is on the platform. I think it's within the first half an hour, maybe within the first hour. But yes, there's usually a limit of £5,000 that you can invest. So you can put 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 or £5,000. I went ahead with the amount that I wanted to invest. And then it just asks you to confirm your allocation and how many contracts you're buying. You click done, and then it says done. You are successfully allocated. Typically, the allocation into the property happens the day after you choose to invest. So you say, yes, I want to invest, and then it all falls into place the next day. You just have to sign the contract. So you click sign contracts. At the bottom, you read it through, you accept the terms and conditions, then you sign the contract, and that's it. The contract is signed and you're done, and then it joins your list. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to see how fast some of the properties go on Nesta. This one went a little bit slower than usual. I think this one was on the platform for around an hour, around half an hour to an hour before it completely sold out. But some properties on Nesta, they go out within the first minute. They get completely sold out within the first minute or two. So the only way to really get in on a property is sign up to Nesta, switch on notifications so that when new properties are about to drop, you get a notification into your email. And the notification in your email will tell you that tomorrow we're dropping a property at this time, and you'll be able to go on the platform from now and look at the details of it, see if it suits your risk appetite, see if it's suitable for you, see if you like the details of it. And then the next day or whenever it goes live, you have the ability to just click on it and click invest straight away and accept all the terms because you've already read them all beforehand. So that's the way to get in on it. And with that strategy, you can build up a sizable pot because they typically have 2 to 3, 4 properties a month. And if you're putting 5k in each, then you can build up 20k in a month's time worth of investments. I mean, if they have 4 deals in a single month. So it is possible. There isn't usually issue in getting an allocation into a property as long as you're in within the first minute or two. Just have the app up, keep refreshing it. When the time's up, it becomes available. You click invest and you're good to go. There was this one property, which was, I don't know when it was, a couple of months back. When they dropped it and when it was ready for investors to invest, the whole app crashed. But that only happened once and it didn't happen as an issue subsequently. I guess that one time, maybe something wrong with their servers, maybe too many people tried to invest at the same time, so it didn't work too well. Now, in terms of liquidity, how can you get your money out? Remember, there is that sell button. So when you own a property on Nesta, you can go in, you can click that sell button. For it to actually be sold, another person has to come in and buy what you are selling. From my experience, if there is something being offered out to other investors on Nesta, generally it gets taken very fast. So you can have access to your money relatively quickly, even though the sale contract only goes through at the end of the month when the profit payments are being paid. So you might have to wait a whole month for you to get your money out. But generally, from what I've seen, given the lack of opportunities on Nesta, you can sell relatively easily and get your money out within a month's time. Because of the way that these payments are made to you on Nesta, The returns are taxable unless you use the innovative finance ISA. So you are subject to tax on these, and it depends on how much income you earn. The income that you earn from these properties is taxed as interest. So you get different amounts of allowance depending on your income. Could be £0, could be £500, could be £1,000, could even be more. So that's something that you have to read up on. Make sure you are going to be paying the right amount of tax. Nesta aren't going to be the ones taking away the tax from your returns. It's something that you're going to have to declare to HMRC if you are liable to pay those taxes. So that's something that you have to understand. Now, if we compare this to some of the alternatives out there, Bayuti and Wahed both have property investment platforms, but they are not similar to Nesta. With Nesta, you are financing the purchase of a property. You're investing into the financing. With Bayuti and Wahed, you are investing into the actual property. You are concerned about a renter paying their rent, and you are concerned about how the property market is doing, whether it's going up in value or down in value, because that's going to be affecting your returns. With Nesta, it's not like that. With Nesta, it's a fixed, pre-agreed rate of return for you to extend financing to someone who needs that financing. And I think that's all we're going to say about Nesta for now. There's probably some little details which we missed out here and there, but I think that's a good enough overview to start off with. If you like that video, check out our other video on some of the other platforms out there. Inshallah, we'll do another in-depth review of Nesta as we spend more time with it. Overall, love the platform. Would love there to be even more opportunities. Just remember, I'm not recommending you to invest into the properties on Nesta. To do that, you really have to do the research and understand the risks involved and understand if it's right for you. But from a user experience perspective, and my personal experience with Nesta, it's been good. Assalamu alaikum.